This is Umpire James. Welcome to the after-action report for the Battle of Lynchburg. I'd like to acknowledge the support of the other umpires who helped run this game. Glorious Ruse, Decimas, Skrevsky, Tunisgrad, Nomable, and Nomadicus. This game would not have happened without their efforts. Special thanks to Lafondios for editing the video. I'll turn it over to Ryan to walk you through it.
The Union team had 10 players. General Hunter was played by Chief, Sullivan by Ed, Crook by Portal, Stahel by Miles, and Averill by Arp. In addition, Brett, LTD, Desert Fox, Evergreen, and Wolfton played as aides de camp and couriers. The Confederate team had 8 players. General Early was played by Babouche, Breckinridge by Scott, Ramseur by TS-14, Vaughn by Jeremy. In addition, Great Gold, Cookie Monster, Ninja Bushido, and Gent J9 played as aides de camp and couriers. The game was actually the second time using the same setting ran by James. He ran another 1 year earlier. In this scenario, which was loosely based on the historical battle, General Grant has ordered the Army of West Virginia, under Major General Hunter, to move south from Staunton through the Shenandoah Valley and capture the city of Lynchburg, Virginia. Lynchburg was the location of an important railroad hub, hospital, and supply center. On the Confederate side, General Lee, who knows Hunter is on his way, has ordered Lieutenant General Early to rush to defend the city with his Army of the Valley. General Breckinridge is there already with his division, and most hold until reinforcements arrive. The historic battle was fought on June 17th and 18th, 1864. The Union approached from the southwest. The Confederates deployed a line of defense facing their approach and made use of existing redoubts which guarded the main roads. This 2-day battle was hard fought, but was ultimately a Confederate victory. The deciding factors were the Union's lacked supplies, especially ammunition, and the Union could hear Confederate trains arriving at night with assumed reinforcements. While some reinforcements did arrive, this was amplified by soldier and even citizens who made lots of noises with instruments and yelling throughout the night to make the army seem larger than it was. By day 2, Hunter, low on ammunition and thinking the enemy outnumbered him, ordered a retreat. In our scenario, the Union isn't quite so tight on supplies. The Union plan created by Hunter and played by Chief was to make an ahistorical approach from the northeast. The infantry would march on 2 parallel roads while the cavalry moved on the Army's flank. The cavalry would cross the James River and threaten the city from the west and south, while the infantry took it from the northeast. His main goal was to encircle and trap the Confederates in the city. Approaching from the northeast was a risk, as there were only a few points to cross the river, and it could be held as a strong line of defense. General Breckinridge, played by Scott, had to form a plan of defense before Early's arrival and input. Knowing the Union's general route of approach, his plan involved sending the cavalry out as a vanguard in 2 groups, as shown by the blue and black lines in the map. His main goal was to slow the Union advance until reinforcements arrived. The game starts in the early evening of June 17th. Union cavalry under Averill in the north and Stahel in the south has already crossed the James and is making its way towards Lynchburg. Union infantry under Sullivan and Crook are advancing on parallel roads as planned, heading south towards the city. Vaughn has split his cavalry in 2. One of his wings is heading straight for Sullivan. Breckinridge and the infantry under his division are following behind the cavalry. By 7:15, it's already getting dark. Vaughn has made contact with Sullivan and forced him to deploy defensively. Meanwhile, Crook continues towards Lynchburg unopposed. Breckinridge, upon learning from helpful locals that Union cavalry were spotted south of the river, wisely moved back into the city and has positioned his men to guard the northern and southern approach. The timely arrival of Johnson's cavalry brigade from the west is enough to stop Stahel from riding straight into Lynchburg. The fighting continues well past dusk as Crook's infantry attempt to cross the James River. He succeeds in doing so and sets up camp on the hill just north of the town. Both sides settle into their camps and sleep on their guns. In the darkness, several Union couriers were captured while roaming lost in the dark woods. They were escorted to Lynchburg for questioning. The main success of the day for the Confederates was Vaughn's ability to keep Sullivan from nearing the town. but the Confederates are in a precarious position with the enemy positioned to assault them from all directions in the morning. Throughout the night, Confederate reinforcements arrived in the form of Ramseur's division. The Confederates made a new plan of defense. By 5 in the morning, right at dawn, the fighting is already underway with Union cavalry pressuring the western side of town. A half hour later, the Union decided that the Confederate defensive position in the north was too strong. Hunter orders Sullivan's division to move back south along the eastern shores of the river to the location of an old ford. The Confederates blew the main bridge but were unaware of their vulnerability of the ford crossing and remained focused on the north and south. In the south, the Confederates are overwhelming the Union cavalry with superior numbers and forcing them back. Stahill and Averill are forced to retreat, but not before Averill's men set fire to several buildings. The fire is quickly spreading through the town, creating a thick, smoky haze. In the east, Sullivan has snuck into town using the old ford, while Crook is applying pressure from the north. The Confederates are just now discovering blue-uniformed soldiers running freely through the city streets in their rear. By 7 a.m., the Union is deep within the city, with men still crossing the ford. Union cavalry is resting and recovering. The Confederate forces in and around the city are fighting desperately and have an even chance as long as the Union cavalry doesn't rejoin the fight. The fire and Union troops inside the town combined made it difficult for Confederate forces in the north and south to communicate with each other. By 7:30, after over 2 hours of heavy fighting, both sides had already had enough. Generals Early and Hunter were both planning on withdrawing. This bloody conflict was deemed a costly Union victory as they were able to destroy the supply depots, hospital, and major portions of the town itself. Both sides fought hard and played well.
I'd like to thank you for watching this after-action review. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you out there on the Kriegsspiel board. Thanks so much.